Welcome to our new lecture. So today we are going to study another very important concept of OOPS, which is encapsulation. So basically, what is encapsulation and how we can use it, and what is the function of encapsulation. So today we are going to briefly study about encapsulation, and let me just explain you through creating a function. So I am just creating a class here, and I am taking class name as learn, and then I am defining a function inside the class using def keyword, and this is our constructor using the dash dash init. This will define our constructor. Now here it is passing self, because self is used to link our function, this constructor, with the class. This indicates that this is the function of this class. This constructor is the part of this class using self keyword. And now let me just pass here some variables, like I am taking two variables a comma b, and here I am linking those variables with the constructor, like using self keyword, self dot a. Now whenever we want to call the value of a, we have to use this name after the dot. Which name is used as assigning to assign the values, and this let me just assign a here. So let me again self dot b is equal to b. Now whenever we want to get the value of this a, we have to call this variable name after the dot. So this will get us the value of this variable which we had assigned to it. This will our value which we will be using to call our constructor. Now I am running it, and after executing it, you can see that it executed successfully here. Let my kernel just get completed, and yeah, it get completed now. So I am creating an object of my class using like L, because my name of the class is learn, so I am taking L. You can take any name. It is not necessary that you have to take always what is shown here. I am assigning some values here. So you can see that we are taking two variables here as a parameter, a and b. So I have to pass here those arguments here, like for a I want to assign 34, and for b I want to assign 54. Now we had created object and we had assigned the values here. So let l1 dot a, now I am using it, it is printing this value for us, but we can also change the value for it here. Like now earlier you had seen that the value which we had assigned here is getting passed here, printing for this object. And let's suppose if I want to change the value for a, I can also assign the value here, like I am assigning this value. And now if I run it, and let me just print the value here, like l1 dot a. So you can see that now we are getting this value, we are not getting this value, like it overridden our previous value which we had initially assigned to our parameter in constructor. Now it has assigned the new value for our object of the class. Now you can see that why we need encapsulation here. So let me just now this is the name of our object, and after the dot operator you can see that it is giving us both the values, like a and b. Now the user will get to know that which variable they had to pass and what are variables already created in the function. But sometimes we don't want our user to get information about the variables we had created. So that is the main scenario where is the encapsulation comes into play. Encapsulation hides our this implementation, like it will not allow the user to modify all those variables. Like here you can see that we have two variables getting here, like a b. So I want to hide that. User will only get user will only get to see those which we want to show to the user, like he has not access to all the variables of our class. So how can we achieve this? So here this encapsulation comes into play. So let us see that how can we achieve this using encapsulation. So let us see that how can we achieve this. I am creating a new class here. So using class keyword I am defining my class. Here I am going to take the name of our class. So our class name is car, and for this car I am creating constructor using def keyword and dash dash init. So this is initializing, and let me just clear it. No. So here I am taking some parameters for our constructor, like for car we have a year, like the year in which it was invented, and what is the make of like who created or the company name, and the model. So what is the model, and comma speed. So now these are some parameters which we take for a car as a generic, like every car has a year, make, model and speed. So let me just link it with using self keyword self dot. Now earlier we had taken it, so you can see that earlier we had just assigned the name here and assigned the value like here, but this time we are not going to assign it that way. Now we are going to use here two underscores. Now this two underscore which we are using the before the name, it is making this private, like uh, now earlier we had seen that after the dot it was displaying us the variables here like a and b, but this time it will not display us like what variables we had defined in our constructor. Again I am going to use self dot, then again dash underscore underscore, and then the name like we had make, and to make I am assigning the make parameter. Again self dot dash dash, and model is equal to model, and again I am using self dot. You have to remember that double underscore, and after that we have speed. So let me just take speed and assign it here. So I am taking speed here. Now you can see that we had assigned the values for these variables. Now I am executing it, and let us just create object over class. So I am creating the object over car class using C, and I am calling our class here car. And now if we try to create object, it will see that it is missing 4 required positional arguments. What are our arguments? Like year, make, model and speed. So we had to assign these. So let me just assign it. So here I am going to first, it requires the year, so the year is 2024, and make is like the company which make it, like let me just take Lexus, comma model, so 570, let me just take here, and speed. So let us define speed here like 300. So now if we run it, it executes successfully because it had taken all the parameters there. Now let us like earlier we had called our parameter using dot, but this time it is not showing us any instance like in the above case which we were seeing, that here after the dot it was saying us that we can see our variables here, like these are our variables a and b, these are our instances, sorry. But in this case it is not showing us any suggestion after the dot, like what are our variables. You can see that there is none of our variable available here. So let me just call it here, and if I try to run it, you can see that it is saying us that there is no car object dash dash year, but there is available. So why it is saying that there is no attribute available for this? So how can we access it? So we have to access it using the name of the class. So we have to use underscore, then C, and then we have to call the year. Now if we run it, we can see that it is again giving us some error. Let me just check it, that why it is giving this error. Oh sorry, let me just remove this, and now if I call it, what is, so there is car, like this is our class name. So now if we call it, we can see that we are getting our value for it, but earlier we were not getting values, like in the above case we were just using dot, and after the dot we were getting the name of a variable and getting the value. But this time we have to use the dot operator. After the dot we have to use single underscore, then we have to give the name of our class, that this is our car class, and after the car we have to give double score and our model year. Now it is giving us the respective value. Now this is, you can see that this is encapsulation. So basically the user is not able to access our values directly using the dot operator. He has to first he has to pass the name of our class, and then it has to pass the name of our variable which is defined in our constructor. So this is same as like capsule, like if we buy a capsule from a pharmacy, so there is specific functionality of a capsule, like it is for fever or cough. So we don't know that what is inside the capsule, like it is covered, and under the cover there are some chemicals or some medicines inside the capsule, but we don't know that what is inside it. We just know that what is the functionality of that capsule. So this same functionality is implemented in here in OOPS principle of encapsulation. So this is a basic overview. Let us again see some more examples to get more clarity about how encapsulation works in Python. Now earlier we had seen that how can we hide our information from our user, but let's see that in some cases we want to give us access to our user that he can modify some variables, but the variables which we had given him the access to modify, like he does not have the rights to modify all those variables. We want to just give him the access of those which we want him to modify. So how can we do that? For that there is concept of getters and setters in Java. So same concept is used here in Python, using the function, like I am creating a function using def keyword, and this set dash speed. So I am creating a function using this name set dash speed, and to this function I am passing self, that is the linking our function with the class, and here I am passing the parameter. So I am passing here parameter like speed. Now what does it will do? Let us earlier how we had defined it, the variable same we are going to assign here, like double underscore speed. And now what we want to assign here? So we want to assign 0, like if someone passes a negative value, so negative value is never a speed. So if someone passes negative, we have to give him 0 as a resultant value. So I am taking speed. If speed is less than 0, then now how it is working? If speed is less than 0, then print 0, else it should print speed. That if it is positive, then it should print the speed. Now here we had set our value, but how can we return this value to our user? For that we have to create another function using def keyword and get using get keyword. This is just name of function, we can use any name, but this is industry parameter, so we are using it here. So I am just linking here using self keyword to link our function with the class, and here we don't have to take any parameters because here we have to just return the value, so we don't have to take any parameter here. So I am using return keyword, and for return, now what I have to return, I want to return this speed, dash dash speed. Now what it will do, it will first set the value and then it will return the value using get function. Now if I run it, it executes successfully, and now again let me execute this function. And here if now I am using c dot, now you can see that we are getting our function there, like this is our set speed and this is our get speed. So first we have to set our speed, so let me just set my speed. So as we had used here if else condition, so like if I am passing here some negative value, so I am using 44, we had assigned it that negative value car object has. So let me just assign here what is the issue. Yeah, so basically that issue was coming because earlier I had not created object, because we just call this and we did not created the object. So I had again ran that this piece of code, and now you can see that it executes successfully. Now we had set our value, so if I want to get the value, I am going to use c dot get speed. Now earlier the value which we had set here, now we want to get the value here, so I am using get speed here, and now if I call it, you can see that we are getting 0 here because we had passed our condition here that the value is less than 0, then like if it is negative value it should return 0, so it is returning 0 for us. Like, and if we want to, now let me just take another example. I am setting the value for speed, and this time I am setting some positive value like 455. And now if we try to get it, c dot get speed, so now we are getting our positive value. So basically here we had simply implemented encapsulation, that we had hidden the implementation of our functions. We had just allowed the user with the specific functions which we want him to uh, get a modification in those functions. So this is a very basic scenario about encapsulation and how can we implement it. Let us better understand about more deeply that how it works in depth. So let us see another example of a bank account. So I am creating a class here using class keyword and taking the name of our class. So I am using bank dash account. So this is our class name, and so this is our class name. I am creating a constructor inside it using def keyword dash dash, sorry, dash dash in it. So I am initializing our constructor here, and let me just so here I am passing a parameter of balance. Like in every account we have a balance, so I am passing a parameter of balance. So now what we want here, so I am first I am going to link it is self dot dash dash balance. Now what I am doing here basically, that I am hiding my implementation by creating it as a private variable. So double underscore dash dash balance is equal to balance. Now our implementation is hidden. So let me just again create a function. This time I am creating a new function which is of deposit. Like if we want to deposit some amount in our account, we have a deposit function. So first I am using the self to link it with our class, and then I am passing the amount parameter. And now what it has to do, so it has to update our amount. So self dot dash dash balance. Now I am taking balance here, so balance is equal to self dot underscore balance is equal to, so after deposit I am updating my balance. So deposit will add the amount in our current balance, so I am updating my deposit with the amount here. So now whatever amount the user has provided, it will be added in our current balance and it will update our balance. Now I am creating another function of withdraw. Like if we want to withdraw something from our account, so we are using self to link it with our class, and then we are using amount variable, that how much amount we want to withdraw from it. So now here we want to implement the withdraw. Like if first we have to check that if balance is equal to the amount which we had passed. Like if our amount is less than, then it should not return anything. But if our amount is less than our account balance, if our amount is less than our account balance, then we can withdraw it. So I am using self dot dash dash underscore balance. This will match our value of the balance, and it will check that it is greater than amount. So what is basically here expected, yeah, greater than amount. Then what it should do, then it should update the balance. So self dot underscore dash dash balance is equal to self dot underscore underscore balance minus amount. So basically what our function is doing, that if our amount is greater than or like if our balance is greater than or equal to amount, then we can deduct the amount from our balance, and it will return like what it will return true for us here. So I want to return true that transaction completed successfully. Else, like if the condition is false, then it will return then it will return let me return false. So these are our basic functions like deposit, withdraw, and if someone wants to check the balance, like what is balance inside our account, so I am using get dash balance function to get our balance, and I am using self to link it, and what we want to return our balance. So self dot dash dash balance, this will return our balance. So now if we run it, we can see that it executed successfully. And now let me just create an object of our class. So what is the issue it is giving here? So yeah, so let me create object of our class. So let's take this is my bank account name. So I am returning I am creating object of this bank account with my name, and for this bank account I am calling my function here, bank account function. So bank dash dash account. So here I am passing some amount here like 3000. So now 3000 is my balance, and if I want to check that what is my balance, so I am calling my function my object name like which we had created here, dot get dash get underscore balance. So now this will return our balance, that what is our balance here. So our balance is 3000, and let me just like if I want to withdraw something, or let me just first deposit something in it, like calling the object, then dot function, and then deposit. So I am using deposit function here, and for deposit we have to pass the amount which we want to deposit. So I want to deposit 454. Now this amount is deposited in our bank account, and if we now again check our bank account that what is the balance inside our account, so I am again going to get dash balance. Now we can see that our balance got updated. Earlier it was 3000, now it is 7554. Now if we want to like withdraw some amount, so let me call this function again using the name of my object dot, and after dot what is our function name, we have withdraw. So let me just call function name withdraw here, and with how much amount we want to withdraw, we want to withdraw 5000. So now transaction done, it returned true. And now if we again check our balance, that what is our balance here, so dot get dash balance, you can see that now it is returning our latest balance. So this is basics about encapsulation, and we had seen some functions and basic examples that how can we implement encapsulation and how can we achieve encapsulation in simple classes. So that's it for today. Please practice it and try different combinations. See you in next lecture. Till then, bye.